Okay, sticking with the parabolas, let's move on today. Okay, if you notice what's different about this guy compared to, compared to yesterday's parabola. Okay, yesterday, or a couple days ago, I should say, I'm sorry. Okay, the parabolas were normal, like you're used to seeing them, right side up. Okay, right side up or upside down. Now, if you notice, they're actually turned on their side. Okay, if you look at today, they're turned sideways. Okay, also, if you look at the equation that you are going to be given right here, look at the difference. Okay, if you compare it to the other day, y was first, it was y minus k, and now your x is first. Okay, if you think about it, if you think about our other guy, when our parabolas were shaped like this, okay, it was pretty much up and down on the y-axis, which is why y was first. Okay, now that our parabolas are turned sideways and they're hugging the x-axis, whether it's this way or the other way, our x is going to be listed first. Okay, if you also notice, our directrix is no longer a dotted line going sideways. Our directrix is a vertical line that is up and down on the x. Okay, so again, our directrix is going to be an x value now instead of a y value like it was before. So let's just jump right in here. It's probably easier that way. Okay, so let's start with our parabola. 1, 4. And our directrix is that x is negative 3. So when x is negative 3, that is this entire section right here, up and down. Okay, so here's my directrix. Same rules apply. Okay, I still want to eat this focus, and I still cannot cross this directrix. So if you think about it, our parabola is going to somewhat be shaped something like that. Okay, it's going to be turned that way it eats the focus, doesn't cross that guy, but let's figure out exactly where. Okay, you know, just like from before, the vertex is halfway between these two. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to get from the focus to the directrix, it's going to be 2 steps to get from the focus to the vertex. And that also happens to be our p-value. Okay, so our p equals 2. Our vertex, which is our still h and k, okay, still your x, still your y, is negative 1, 4. So our h is negative 1, our k is 4, and then we plug it in as normal. Okay, so x minus our h, which in this case is negative 1 over 4 times p, y minus our k squared. And just like before, clean it up. Minus a minus becomes a plus. 1 over 4 times 2 is 1 over 8. Y minus 4 squared. Okay, so then our parabola looks something like this. Okay, as far as the fraction goes, before, if our parabola was upside down, our fraction was negative. So the way to tell here, whichever way your parabola is ending facing, so let's say our arrows are going forever in the positive infinity direction, our fraction is going to be positive. Okay, if our parabola is flipped the other way and our arrows were pointing in the negative infinity direction, this guy would be negative. I'm sure we're going to see one in just a minute, so you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, let's try this guy. Okay, remember, look at what you're given. We're given the focus and the vertex. So the focus is at negative 2, 3. So my focus is right. Ooh, can y'all see that? Because I cannot. Okay, so my focus is at negative 2, 3. And my vertex in a different color. Vertex is 4, 3. Okay, so think about the rule. We eat the focus. We don't cross the directrix. Again, we don't have a directrix, but I do know that I have to eat this guy. And this is my mouth, this is my opening, so it's going to open something like this right here. Okay, to write the equation, I need an H, I need a K, and I need a P value. Okay, H and K you already have right here with the vertex. My P value is my distance, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. Okay, which means if I want to draw the directrix, I go 6 more steps the other way, and my directrix will be right here. Okay, so H, K, P, here's my formula down here. Oops, sorry. Okay, it's a vertical directrix. I know because the focus is beside the vertex instead of on top of it or below it. It's right next to it, so I know that it's got to be turned this way. So write your formula. X minus H y minus k squared, and of course cleaned up. Okay, here's one of those where it's facing negative infinity. Okay, we are facing negative infinity, so we need to make our fraction negative. Okay, number 1, I see my directrix at -3, so I know that it's going to be this formula. I don't know why my pen is jumping like that. Okay, so now let's graph it and see if we can figure it out. Okay, so my focus is at 1, 2. And my directrix is at x is 3. Okay, so there's the line I can't cross. Okay, 2 steps from the focus to the directrix, which means it's 1 step from the focus to the vertex. So my vertex is right here with a coordinate of 2, 2. He's got to open this way, which means he is negative. So then write your formula. X minus 2, 1 over 4 times 1, y minus 2 squared. Over 4 negative y minus 2 squared. Again, it's negative because you're opening that direction. Okay, again, we have the focus and the vertex this time, so we already have our H and K. So all we need is P to write our equation. Focus is at -2, 3. And my vertex is at -6, 3. Okay, again, if this is my vertex, got to eat the focus, so we've got to go this way, which is positive, so I don't have to worry about a negative fraction. And my P is 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Okay, so I have X minus my H, 1 over 4 times 4, y minus my K, all of it squared. Remember, this is your p-value. However many steps that is, that's your p. Okay, a couple more today, and then we'll be finished. Okay, focus 0, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my directrix is an x value of -6. Okay, so I need an h, I need a k, and I need a p-value. Okay, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps between here and there, so it's 3 steps for my p-value and 3 steps to get to my vertex. And that coordinate is -3, -5. The parabola is opening in the positive direction, so my fraction is going to be positive. My directrix is x, so my x is first. (1/12) y plus 5 squared. Again, positive fraction because we're going in the positive direction. Okay, remember your directrix value, real big hint as to who goes first, either x or y. Okay, and yes, the h always stays with the x, the k always stays with the y. Okay, h stays with x, k stays with y. These two just swap places. Okay, again, be careful with what you're given. This time I'm given the focus, which is 4, 2. And this time I have the vertex again, which is 2. Whoops, I went the wrong way. I didn't go negative. Okay, so again, here's my h and k. So all I need is p. Okay, p is the distance between your dots. So I have 2 steps. Okay, so again, I don't necessarily need to graph my directrix. Okay, if you know that you eat this focus and you know that this is your vertex, it's gotta open this way. Okay, so these are the guys I need. X minus 2, 1/4 times 2, y minus -2 squared, positive, my fraction's positive. Clean it up a little bit. Plus a negative, or minus a negative becomes plus, and there's your equation. Okay, the last one for today. Focus is at 0, 4. I have a directrix with an x value, so I know I'm starting with x first. Okay, I need my h, I need my k, and I need my p-value. Okay, my directrix is at x is 8. So he's right here, which means my parabola is going to open to the negative, so my fraction is going to be negative. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps between them. So my p-value is 4. Okay, so if our p is 4, we go to our focus and we take 1, 2, 3, our 4 steps. There is our vertex. P is at 4, 4. That's ugly. And so now we have everything. We have our vertex, we have our h and k, we have our p. So we can now write our equation. Again, it is an x directrix, which means our x goes first. So x minus our h. 1/4 times our p-value. Y minus our k squared. Okay, and I'm sure some of you are yelling right now. It is a negative because our parabola has to open this way. Since he has to open this way, he is opening towards the negative, so our fraction will be negative. So our equation is x minus 4, negative 1/16, y minus 4, squared.